9 mercenaries must work together to complete challenges and earn metal for a group pot. But one of them is the Mole, a traitor, hired by us to sabotage the group's efforts and to prevent as much metal from going into the pot as possible. At the end of each episode, the players will take a quiz about the Mole's actions and identity. The player that scores lowest...
Hello, everybody. I'm being joined by 3 people this week for our commentary. Sadly, Wimp, he's going to join about halfway through with myself with 2 contestants, but with this week's schedule, just decided to split this up. And I'm joined by 3 people. Gangster Weasel, our server host.
Hello.
Pesky Plumber, one of our special guests for this episode.
Hey, howdy, hey.
And Aridon, our map editor for a couple of the maps that you've seen.
Hello.
Yeah, so I'm like, with my fingertips back and forth, because our first challenge, we thought it'd last a little bit longer than we was going to, because Dag did mention at some point, which I was like, I'll kind of keep it in there. But he does mention about some practice. They probably practiced for, was it 20, 30 minutes, Gangster? It was a.
Well, I don't think it wasn't that long, but they did have at least 10 minutes to practice.
Was it? I don't know. I want to go back. I'll put this. I do keep my replays probably a little bit more than Wimp. I don't know if he has that, but you'll see that later with some music, and I'll leave it at that. So.
I'll gladly delete them all when this is all done.
Party pooper.
Probably the greatest twist to have in all the challenges I've seen so far. It's great.
Yeah, because y'all push, you can pretty much hear in Wimp's voice, because for some strange reason, I don't know why I'm usually like not really shown. I don't know main reason why. We're just me and Gangster usually just by cloaked, so we can save recordings, but we're both kind of on a rock on the left side, and he just when Blazios is the only one that actually makes it, he just says he looks at us and he's like, do you expect us to say something? It's like, and that's it. So, and interesting, they actually tried another. We actually gave them another chance, and did Blazios again make the jump? I don't remember.
I think it was the other way around. I think only Mid-Chance made it.
Yeah, that's it.
And then we just scrapped that entire round and did it over.
Yeah, and then again, since only one person made it, we're like, okay, the original person will get the credit, basically. All right. So.
Was it?
Yes, Gangster?
Was it? I thought that we just did the second round.
No, I think what you see is basically
or
the
was
very...
Blazios first and Mid-Chance? Oh, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Blazios got the plus
Yeah.
one.
Well, Blazios, and then we decided to redo it, and then Mijins got it, and then I forgot. I think we just decided. Oh, that's right. He said. I don't remember how to admit. Anyway, it's done. It's
Memory,
done. Memory.
us.
Well, it's only basically this is only about a month ago.
Well, a bit longer, I think.
A little bit, just a bit longer. Sorry, Don. How much fun did you have editing this level in which we sadly didn't? I'll keep leaving how sad I am. I mean, I really am just so sad that this didn't last as long as it was going to, hopefully. But so, how much fun did you have editing this map?
Well, when I first opened up this map, of course, anyone who's played on this map knows that being in this, in the underworld in this map, you pretty much will die after, I think it's about 2 minutes or so.
Yeah, lightning, right?
Because the skeleton head will just start shooting the enemy team, start killing them if you don't get to the Abominomicon. One of the things I've noticed when I was editing this map is that the lava that you see is actually one ginormous object. It's not made up of anything else, it's just one ginormous waterfall. And so I couldn't really change the shape or the angle of which the lava fall was standing.
Or would it have taken a lot more work?
Well, it just would have made everything kind of wonky because I couldn't. If you look at the lava fall from the side, I don't know if it shows in the video, but you'll notice that it's not actually straight up and down. It's slanted, and so the rocket jumpers would have had to launch themselves quite far,
Yeah.
in fact, to actually reach the platform down below without hitting the lava
Yeah,
on their way
James like
down,
said
which
he
I
was
think
like off
somebody
by.
did.
Yeah, James said he was like off a few inches, and like.
Yeah, I think one of the people actually hit the water or the lava fall before they reached the bottom.
Yeah, you have to jump out further than you think.
Yeah. So when I designed this map, I had kind of the idea that this challenge would be more just solo. You'd have one soldier go at a time and see if they would be able to land on the bots below, but I didn't realize that they were all going to jump at the same time, and that might have been a bit of a different result if they had all just gone one by one. Because testing the map is a lot different than actually seeing it work in progress. Because being by myself, I can easily test it just by myself and be like, okay, yeah, I've been able to jump on a few heads and I think this works. Assuming that you get the pattern down, which I assume they did, right? You said they practiced for a good 20-30 minutes, right?
Well, they
They did, but it didn't help that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. When I originally
We
tested the map,
suck.
We suck.
We suck.
yeah, when I originally tested the map, I had to kind of get a pattern down to know how far out to jump and where to jump in order to land on one of the bots down below. That's pretty much my take on this particular challenge.
I guess we'll backtrack just for a few moments. How much on the Distrust Fall Challenge on Lumberyard is that the second episode? I think that
Probably.
yeah
Yeah.
second episode. Like how much did you kind of have to do on that one?
How much fun did I have making that one?
Yeah, it's a lot of editing.
So that was what challenge was that? That was the heavy trust where the pyro was at the bottom, and if they answered the question correctly, they would blast them onto safety. That one wasn't too challenging. One of the biggest challenges I had was the 3D skybox, and as some of you know, I'm currently creating a map, the Koth High Noon.
That's good.
And one of the things I haven't been able to get to yet is actually working on the skybox. I wasn't familiar with how the 3D skybox worked, and so when I started editing the map, well, a lot of the things broke in the map. A lot of invisible walls. The skybox was just screwed up, and I'm just kind of, okay, what am I doing wrong here? I go in, and for those who don't really understand how maps are made in TF2, pretty much what happens is that the map builder will build this map, and they'll have it on this square in real scale, 1-to-1. But then they'll go off into this other part of the map where there's nothing in here, and they'll build up this little 16th scale model of the surrounding skybox. And they do this to cut down on rendering costs. But in order for that to happen, is that they have to have a camera placed in the center of the map that kind of points where that skybox should be set up. So when I was going in and editing stuff, I kind of screwed up with where everything was placed in that skybox, and so I got some pretty fun glitches there.
I mean, I even pointed out whenever we was filming, I think some of the rails in the far background are kind of broken, but I think it's not. It's that kind of actually fits it. Like a broken rail track in the background and with the lava and the blades. It kind of fits, but it's not like, oh, look, is that an error over there? Oh well.
Well, one of the things I wanted to do then, I also I don't know if anybody attempted, but I just put up a whole bunch of walls, invisible walls, so they couldn't get back there, because I did hide a lot of things I didn't want players to see.
Oh, now the contestants are maybe listening.
Well, it's mostly just...
Well, I tried, I couldn't. I think.
Yeah.
I guess next thing we'll mention is Pesky's. First thing I want to bring up. I wish I can insert the audio right now, but I wasn't recording. I Gangster, did you know about the comic that Pesky drew for for this? Oh no, hold on.
He
For the-
has.
Okay, so Gangster knew.
What? No, I don't think I did. I saw it when
Oh, when it's
it was
finished.
posted.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, because I never had the chance. I was like, I can actually ask like while like recording, be like, all right, so because I was like, I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it whatsoever.
No, I really like it though.
Oh yeah, it's good. But it's like that's a good little. You want to just kind of describe a little bit of the picture, or
Well, like basically, Wimp messaged me saying like, "Can do you do commissions for like comics and that?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And like, obviously costs a little bit extra in that. And he said, "I was wondering if you could do like a promotional comic for the second season of The Mole," and saying like, explaining of how we got the new studio for it. And I was like, "Oh, sure, that sounds good, but like you might have to supply the storyline." So he then quickly just did like a quick little comic with like little stick men on Microsoft Paint, and he just then supplied the text and that, and then and I just then took it from there. And like an interesting fact as well with the comic is on the part where you see all the contestants, like I actually drew each of them separately, and then I placed them all together just so then like they didn't all so then it wasn't like a really huge cluster of a mess. So then I can just easily position them where they can all easily be seen. And it was quite fun drawing like all the different guys in that.
would you, I think I don't like when did Wimp contact you? I think he kind of mentioned just a little bit on your little interview.
He told me about it like he contacted me about the interview for this like a few days afterwards, I think. It might have been a few days, or it might have been actually after the actual challenge, I'm not sure. But it was quite recent. Dag just being aggressive. Fuck you!
One thing, it's kind of hard to. It's interesting with the first challenge, they was able to get the headshot here, but from here, the next two, Gangster actually had to use the blind command because I even looked. Yeah, I actually looked like through Hippie Scope or after the fact, and you can really still tell pretty much where everyone is.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So. I was standing next to him as a pyro, and I could just see the dot go over his head and stop there, and just headshot him or one of the heavies.
As a sniper main,
that's
I understand just how hard it is to snipe through flames.
Yeah, but when they're moving that
yes.
slow, you can still see.
Yeah, but static flames like that, it would be easier, but kind of like in the heat of the moment, if you're standing behind one of your friendly WM1 pyros, you're trying to snipe something in front of him, that's quite.
Yeah, in a real game, it's way more difficult.
Static flames here, which seem to be invisible.
I always love how I got on fire when I taunt you.
Yeah.
It's like I activate a super mode or something like that.
Yeah.
Anime.
I'm very surprised, Wimp was like, well, because luckily nothing's really, wait, what was the other thing? Oh, well, yeah, paint and unusual effects, I can't do anything about it, but, well, luckily this shot, the flames are visible because that looks cool. But yeah, they just, you got to love replay, because sometimes stuff can, derp up a little bit, but it's kind of funny if you really look, you can hear it. It's basically just the flames are invisible, and just and I also love that I think during the first group, it doesn't look like they have their guns deployed, so they just looks like they're just walking slowly. But luckily this one, everything's working correctly, so they have the guns down and whatnot.
Looks like a few of them did actually make it to, or Pesky did make it to the scout a few times, so. Although you could be able to see through those flames, it was effective, at least to a point.
We were thinking, actually, right before we recorded this commentary, we were just discussing, and I was like, I wonder if we should have tested if we should try flames and partially blinding, but you could pretty much still make out the body and blah blah and all that fun stuff.
That's one of the unique things about TF2, though, is that everybody has that unique shape. It's a shape-based game, so it's really
TF2
easy to
best
tell.
first-person shooter ever.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
The
bro.
only first-person shooter where you know which team you're on.
That too, yeah.
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 Here gets at least I was gonna say. So Peskin, are you done? Do you like my little thumbprint thingy right there, and
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do love the upped quality in it.
and also the I forgot to mention the intro that we got.
Yeah, love those intros. So greatly done.
Yeah.
It's the magic of editing.
Yeah, bro.
The fun thing about that is that I was able to. And originally, when I was designing the maps, Wimp never asked me to put in any of the signage that I did.
Ah,
I kind of saw the sign. I was like, you know, it'd be kind of a cool idea if I just took this image and just kind of plastered it everywhere on the map. Just kind
Uh-huh.
of have that
Yeah. It looks good. It's just like
that show feel.
we came on the map, just stick the sign in the ground and claimed it for our own.
Yeah, and so when you're editing maps like all the basic ones in TF2, it kind of gives it that own personal mole feeling when you have all the signage on those default maps. You're like, okay, this is part of the show
Yeah.
now.
Man, I look really handsome with that mustache on.
and I'd say that I think this is the only time that I did it. Usually during the interviews, I basically, even like whenever me and Pesky did it, we have to basically try to somewhat repeat what Wimp asked. So whenever it's cut it out
Yeah.
for the interviews, you can basically make sense of what was just said. And I think there was only one time, I think it was during one of your pet interviews. It was, I forgot, it was like later on. I don't even remember what it was, but I left Wimp's talking in there because it really felt like it should be in there. And I just left, and then for some strangers, and it just happened to be you two again. I left Wimp's talking because what you're gonna do if you won, and you'll eat a hat. You know, it's
Yeah.
like it's just too funny. It's like I'm gonna leave it in there.
I really didn't know what to do. It's just like, get a hat and
Get it.
eat it.
Eat it.
I did end up getting a hat and it's delicious. Well, technically it's more a pair of boots, but still, they're delicious.
Oh, ooh, fancy.
Nom nom nom. Sniper boots.
What? I'll just say, boy, you gotta love that sticky keys in Windows, right?
Good thing you can disable them.
Oh, you can. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
I'll just
I'll
try
have
to
to disable them later.
I'll try not to hit Shift one button a certain number of times. So
Mine are already disabled since I got it.
I'll look that up.
I pressed it too much, or it used to happen to me too much, so I just
Honestly, does
yeah.
anybody actually use sticky keys?
I don't even know what it does.
Yeah, what does it do?
so-
Someone actually invented sticky keys?
Somebody actually invented
It-
sticky
it's-
keys.
That sounds that I'll just say
It
I'll just
sounds
say
like something
some-
useless, and you have to clean your
someone-
keyboard.
Someone's looking at their keyboard and is just like, you know what? Some people are pushing the shift button too much. I gotta put a stop to this.
yeah. And then of course what I'm gonna say is it just sounds like, you know, sticky keys. It sounds like you've been watching too much. Anyway, I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna hand this off to the second half that we're gonna be recording. Magic of editing, you know. So like I said, I'd like to thank Gangster Weasel,
No problem.
Pesky,
Yep, brah.
and Aridon
Glad to be out here.
for joining, and we're going to cut to hopefully me, Wimp, talking to Jay Mizzle and King about welcome back to our episode 4 commentary. I'm joined by 4 people, or got one extra person that I was able to get. We got Wimp Ziller, our actual host.
Hello, I'm back.
King of Heart.
Hello.
And Jay Mizzle.
Sup?
And last but not least, technically spoilers, but I'm hoping you've already watched our first season. But our mole for our first season, Kaneson.
Hello.
So some interesting things happened during at the end of this episode. I guess.
Sure did.
Did you want to? I guess first. Was there anything extra you want to say, Kainson, of reason that you came as a little thing at the end? Is there anything extra you want to mention?
I mean, well, I could say that I wasn't actually there for the day that
Oh,
this
yes.
was going on.
Yeah, I guess I forgot. Thank you. Yeah, I forgot what happened. Is I think either we was going to and you weren't able to, and I think there was one that we tried a second time,
Yeah,
but I
it
think
was,
Yeah, she showed
Mr.
up
Hippie,
first.
Mr. Hippie wasn't there, or I remember someone wasn't.
Yeah, I was there for the first time we tried to do it, but
Yeah.
someone couldn't make it else.
I think it was Mr.
So
Hippie.
we had to reschedule for a different day, but then I couldn't make that day, so you're just like, let's just edit you in after.
Which
And
yeah,
so that's what happened.
which is kind of bad. Someone mentioned, or there's a joke. I don't know why I cut it. I guess because usually there's two good angles in the studio, or whenever people get eliminated, is basically on the left or right or in the middle or in front of Wimp. But since I couldn't do a certain angle on the left side or technically the right, because you're supposed to be pretending to be standing there, it limits certain camera angles. And so yeah, but there was a joke that I think King had made, where right when James was leaving, he said, "And you get also a date with Kainson."
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And I didn't hear. I'm not kidding. After hearing, I could not make out what James you said right when you left with Kainson. I could not make it up. But I watched this with two other of our friends right when whenever I made this public, and I heard it and I was like, "Oops." Because you could hear Jay Misley, you said something right when you're leaving, and I could not make it out, and it's like I can't edit this out because, it'd be like, oh, what has he said? But you actually say, hey, sweetheart, or I think he said, hey, sweetheart, but the way you say you can barely hear it, and I think one of our friends said, I said, oh, it makes him sound like a scumbag, because I cut out the whole
No, it does
date
not.
joke, or hey, yeah, he said, yeah, I think like basically, hey,
Wow.
sweetheart, and I was like,
Well, plus that's like Soldier's little catchphraise or whatever, so
Th-
I think it works.
yeah,
It
Oh,
got me a
I
date.
have a question.
So.
yeah. Because I,
something,
cause I kind of cut it all out of the joke, and but it's like that one bit has like, oops, oh well. I'm surprised, Wimp, you didn't point it out. Did you hear? Were you able to hear what he said, or was that also a surprise?
I could understand what he said. That was a funny little joke between friends.
Oh, okay. I didn't. You wouldn't imagine. I think I probably heard that clip. I probably listened to it about 10 times, and I was like, "What's he saying?" I made it public, and I watched it. I was like, "Wait, I can clearly hear it, even though I don't know what changed."
Yeah, one major complaint we get about this show is that voices in TF2 are just difficult to understand in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be.
I think replays just render kind of sloppy.
Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna blame it on the replays as always.
you can print. Well, I don't really. I'm not actually rendering this. I mean, if it's like once it's in the actual replay, you know what I mean. But then if you and then once you export it, it could maybe do something. I mean, we've had that
Fabulous
problem.
entrance, by the way.
Yeah. Boop.
That popping on top of the head. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I kept landing on his head. We did it like 3 times, and every single time
Yeah.
I landed on top of his head.
I had to cut a high angle. I had to change it. At one point, I was gonna have you like your head cut off because to make it look not weird. But it's like Wimp's gonna be like, you need to, don't do that. I know you part. So I went ahead and just did a wide shot, which is weird. But I was gonna say, skip back to the voices right fast. Whenever I now halfway through doing season 1, I did this. Actually, like not halfway starting. I just now record my screen because there's some weird audio things if you ever export in full
Yeah, I
HD.
noticed.
The words can like a short word can get completely chopped off, or a half of a long word can get chopped off. So like say if I don't know, but one person, the Reddit, made a post, a lot of good comments, and that's one person who mentioned that, and I made a comment after the fact, and it's true. There's one thing we could do, which would actually require editing, which I do not actually want to put the time in to do. I doubt I don't know what percentage of viewers we'd increase from this, but I don't think it'd be worth it. Which would be to basically be recording all of this in Mumble or some form like that, but then go
That's a
through
Mumble?
and or either Mumble or Skype and basically
Oh.
time it
All
where.
those in.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing: is no, I like TF2. Look, someone's talking. Look, a talk. You see a talk bubble, so
Yeah,
you know
that's
who it
pretty
is.
important.
That would
Yeah.
require to me go through and put an indication every time someone talked, and there's no effing way I'd put that much time in to
So
do
true.
that.
Too much
There's
work.
no way I'd do that.
Well, honestly, there's a much easier way to do that. I would talk to you about this right now, but we're recording a commentary, and this is like, a discussion we would have after the fact.
Yeah.
Well, I'll try. I'll write this down before I forget. Okay.
I'm a
You guys should
question
know,
then.
like, every time after we record these commentaries, Crafting and I will talk for like 30 minutes just about the show and what we should do about
Yeah.
things.
You guys are nerds.
Spy
I
crap.
agree.
But yeah, why did you?
We're all nerds.
I mean, why did you decide to? And by the way, no kind of spoilers since this is coming out while these episodes are coming out, so we'll keep it at that. But Jay Mizzle, why did you decide to? I think he pretty much said it in general. The reason why he took the bribe, right?
I don't know. What did I say?
He
Why-
just
why do you
stressed.
think I took it?
Well, because he just
Yeah,
said
I had a lot going on, and that on top of the fact that we did absolutely miserable in
Yeah.
every single challenge, and 50
Yeah,
refined
it's stressed.
came in handy. I'll tell you, it came in handy. And Sundays, days re-recording, just never quite worked that well for me. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's hard, to
yeah.
get 12. Well, is that 12, 9, 10? Yeah, 12 people to have the same, for
Yeah.
max of 2 hours. It's hard to do that, and I think that was the same. Again, that was the same reason why Radiophone kind of left, because trust me personally, it's stressful. It's
Yeah.
it's
Well,
fun.
and it's a weekend, and after a long work week, I just wanted to kind of do my own thing as well.
True.
And being constrained to like at noon or whatever, I think it was for me, noon every day.
Yeah, I think we're at the same time. Yeah, it's noon.
So it kind of made it just kind of awkward. So
Yeah.
I got 50 refined. I mean,
Like I said, yeah,
I did pretty damn well for myself.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how
Yeah.
that 50 refined came into this because we had the entire season planned out before he started, unlike the first season. And we had this bribe planned out from the very beginning, but we didn't have all the specifics figured out. There was going to be something like, I'll add like 10 scrap, but instead somebody could take the 10 scrap out of the vault if they want to leave or something like that. And then halfway through the season, Kanshin came to me and said, "Hey, I just came into 50 refined metal and I don't really want." I have no
Came in.
idea.
I
So
sold.
you get it from
I
the-
sold one key and I got 50 refined metal. Do you want? I'm so God. Anyway.
I won it from Rocco's raffle. So and
Ah,
then I won it a while ago, and I'm like, oh, I'll totally use it. But then I'm like, I'm never gonna use it. So I said we should just add it to the pot. And Wimp was like, oh, I have a better idea.
Let's make it interesting.
Yeah.
it was just like the show too. I watched the show recently. Who's the Mole?
Show's awesome. It's so good.
And they offer you money to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
She
They
was
did that
like
once.
hated, so they offered her money to leave.
I'm gonna say, King, were you surprised that you were eliminated?
Ah.
You
Like I
doubted yourself
said,
every week.
I was too focused on Tito, J Mizzle, and Hippie. I didn't keep my thoughts open for who the Mo could be. I mean, it could have been Hippie, could have been Mines, it could have been anybody at this point. But I only talked to certain Titos, so like I was.
Can't believe you thought I was the mole.
That's. Well, I was gonna say if I
You were
think
too confident.
I was
when
just
I was-
being
I-
friendly.
When
Take notes.
I'm
first
gonna
round.
say if you actually have watched the episodes that James, a lot of people were thought you was the mole.
I know, it's just I end up doing bad when I don't even mean to.
Well,
I
I think
look like I'm throwing.
I I just suck
You were
most of the
pretty
time.
much this Cass Addle, because she pretty much did the same thing for season 1. You know.
That was the Rocco. I failed on purpose and sucked the rest.
It's kind of funny that you also have the same outfit as Rocco, the Santa hat and the robot
Yeah.
glove, and
But
even
I
the
also had a
little
bunny
heart
hat
thing.
so I had to sell it.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that. I don't care about keeping up consistency with look. You know.
Yeah, but for the shows, I thought it was gonna like crash, so I was like, I better sell now while
Yeah,
it's still
it's.
hot.
I'm not
You
gonna
sold your
complain.
hat.
King of Heart is a major trader, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
he's really
Yeah.
into trading. I think your channel is almost all about
Yeah, all
trading.
my fans know that. They're like, cool trading videos.
And by the way, Kaneton, where's your hat?
I'm wearing a new jacket too.
Fancy.
It's
like
next
that
season.
jacket.
I don't have to wear the same stuff.
It's a new updated look for the new generation.
Looks like there's flames in your glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that is supposed to be
Yeah.
there.
Oh, by the way, I am.
Oh, I'd like to thank fuck. I'm an expert. Now I'm leaving this.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. All right, I'd like to thank Wimpzilla for
Not so
help.
easy, is it?
Yeah, I know. For doing these commentaries. I'd like to thank
Always
Jay.
happy to be here.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jay Mizzle and King,
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Same here.
and also Kaneson.
Yes, it was fun. Thank you.
And hope you'll come back and listen to the next one of our rambling on about how cool this thing is. Eva.
Very cool.
Next time on The Mole. The final four tee off for a chance at the last exemption, and there's a long road ahead before the final round.